Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we're driving a very special edition Porsche. This is a 992 911 Targa 4 GTS with the 50th Porsche Design Edition package. They only made 750 of these. They are all painted black, and all of the trim pieces and wheels are platinum satin. Now, what I did not know was that the Porsche Design Studio was 50 years old. That's something that I thought was more of a recent development, because this is the time where in the past 10 years we start to see people wearing the jackets, the watches, all these little accoutrements that get sold with the cars, even pens, I think. And what I did not know was that the studio was started by Porsche himself, Ferdinand Alexander Porsche. His signature is all over this car. And they decided that when they made the 50th anniversary edition to commemorate 50 years of Porsche Design Studio, that they would use the Targa 4 GTS. Maybe that's just so I would have to say Targa 4 GTS many, many times. This is like the longest name for a 911. And then you add special edition stuff on it, and it gets tricky. But anyway, this is beautiful. I've seen some of them which have the stripes and little trim guys down here that say Porsche, but I think this looks really clean without. Painted black calipers always look fantastic. Staggered 20 and 21 inch wheels wrapped in Pirelli rubber. Up front, we've got a 245 section tire, and in the rear, a 305. And a special bonus, this one is a 7-speed manual. We love to see it. Inside, you get the Sport Tech seats, which look pretty darn good. I'm loving the patterns. Everything just plays so well in this car, which, as it should, it needs to represent the Porsche Design Studio appropriately. And the trim pieces, there's wood here, but it's not ostentatious and in your face and shouty. It's really subtle, so it mixes really nicely with the satin black finishes here. And then you have the beautiful deviated stitching along the dashboard with leather, all the goods. But oh boy, the Porsche Design Chrono up in the center of the dashboard might be the reason to buy this car. You can buy a Targa 4 GTS for around 170, 175 grand. This one costs $197,000. So if you're somebody who's buying the watches and really into that stuff, this thing starts to make a lot of sense to you, because why have all the accoutrement when you don't have the car? All right. Let me just show you a couple more things on the outside and the inside, and we'll go for a drive, because it's 29 degrees and I am quite cold. Back here, you get the clever little badge on the grille with Porsche's signature, Porsche Design 50, wonderful. And then over here, you get the 911 Edition 50 Yara Porsche Design, number 224 of 750. The door sills also in that wood finish that you see on the dashboard down here, that 50 Porsche Design. We love to see it. So I think this is a really clever way to commemorate something cool and add a bit of style to an otherwise great car, but you know, it's not a GT car, and I think it's really great that they did this in not a GT car, because it makes more sense for what 911s are really used for. They're meant to be drivers, and what I love about a Targa is that yes, it's 29 degrees out here right now, and we're still able to just use it. I am going to put the roof up because I'm cold, and it's horrifyingly cold, but I like the idea that this is not a car that needs to go away for winter. Let's start it up. We've got our left ignition. I do still wish this was the key. I've got the key in my pocket, but I wish this was an actual key. Jumps to life nicely. Little raspiness from this 3-liter flat 6 makes about 473 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque. All right, to get this roof up, and I am actually going to show you how this works a little bit from the outside, because it's very cool. And I'm going to pause it midway through because I want you to see something about this. Oh, I almost forgot a signature right there. Look at that. Okay, watch this. We're going to pull this up. It's going to open this rear hatch with the gorgeous curved glass. But what I want you to see, this is the storage of that top. It does go beyond the rear of the vehicle. So make sure that if you're ever putting this roof up or down, you don't have a pickup truck snugged up real close to you, parallel parked, or a wall or a building, because I'm not sure if it knows. So just make sure you've got room. Okay, we'll finish the sequence. These will flip up, making room for the top to come down. you go. All right, let's get out and drive. Four-wheel steering makes this so maneuverable in tight spaces. In fact, let me just do a little demonstration of its turning radius around the sewer grate here, because this is just wonderful. I mean, like, say what you want about four-wheel steering in certain vehicles, but when they get it right, it just makes the car so maneuverable. And yeah, I know the point isn't so you can drive it in a parking lot. So it makes it better on a racetrack and at high speeds, going out of phase at lower speeds and in phase at higher speeds, mimicking a shorter or longer wheelbase depending on what your needs are. But, you know, this is a daily driver, and this is the kind of thing that just makes getting in and out of spots easier and safer. Notice the 7-speed manual. It's a patient shift, because it does feel like the flywheel's a bit heavy. This is the same as it was on 991.2 as well. It's not a GT3, so don't expect that you're getting in this car, if you've driven a manual GT3, that it's going to behave the same. It will not. But it rewards a good and reasonably patient driver. That I'd put myself there. I can see just fine over here. Seventh gear. Pretty much need to be going faster for that. That's silly. We're on a summer tire, it's sub 30 degrees. We can't really pitch this into a corner too hard, but it still hangs on all right. But you just always are aware of the performance and rigidity and stability of these 992s, whatever trim level really. But when you've got all-wheel drive, it just allows you to put the power down at any moment. I mean, it's just silly. That's the thing. It's like you think like, oh, I need to go get myself a 911 Turbo S. It's like, you do not. You absolutely don't. You get yourself an S, a GTS of any variant, and this thing mobs. This is so much torque and so much power. And maybe the number doesn't express that. Maybe 473 doesn't sound as good as like 650. But I'm just telling you, this is like an authentic, legitimate, and likely underrated 473 because it feels faster. It does. It just does. And if this isn't enough for what you're doing day to day, then like you likely won't have a license for very long. impressive mid-range torque that just seems to be available all the time. Sometimes I wave to people who just like look like they're about to yell at me for no reason. I don't know. That's a thing I gotta stop doing. So I think that'll do it for me in the 50th Porsche Design Anniversary Targa 4 GTS. We've driven the Targa 4 GTS before. It's a lovely car. It's a lovely car with a manual transmission. I'm sure it's fine with PDK as well. But I just think that this car still embodies the spirit of the 911, because the 911 is a sports car, not necessarily a supercar. So while of course we love GT3s and GT2s and the RS line and all that crazy stuff, this is kind of what it's all about. It's about having a car that you can use year-round, anywhere you want. It can tackle a canyon, a racetrack, an off-ramp. It can also just ferry you to work or to wherever the heck you're going for long distances or short distances to the store. So for me, I just really dig these. I think they're really fun, and I think if you're a Porsche-phile who needs to have something a little bit more special, but maybe you're not on that VVIP list, you know, this is one of those opportunities where you get to have a piece of a limited edition car, a limited edition run that you can actually get into, because, you know, you probably weren't on the list for the 997 Sport Classic, where they only made 250 of those, and you know, you're not getting a GT3 RS 4-liter. They made 600 of those for 997 generation. So, you know, this is either someone who really wants to have kind of a limited edition Porsche as their usable normal car or their special car, or it's someone who has, like, you know, 5-10 cars already, and they just want to have something a little bit special that doesn't look like anyone else's Targa 4 GTS. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.